It is the conclusion of the 2021-22 college football season. And this is first time in a long time. Me and Chris are hopping on the pod for NTECFP. I can't remember the rest of it. FL
FL.
something. Not the Experts College Football Podcast for life.
Once a season.
So far it's looking like Chris, I should let everyone know you're the resident Georgia boy, which technically we're both Georgia boys, but you're the one who pulls for UGA, a diehard, one who has lived through the peaks and valleys, more valleys than peaks. But as we both predicted at the beginning of the season, we thought Georgia would be here. Did we think they would be playing Alabama? No. Did we think they would lose to Alabama in the SEC championship? No. Chris actually had LSU in his college football playoff. So I want to give you a shout out for that, Chris. Do you have anything to say for yourself for that terrible take and prediction?
Yeah, this has been a crazy season. That's all I've got to say. I think more things have happened this season than I thought Harbaugh was going to be out this season.
Yeah.
But here he is in the playoffs. So shows what little I knew coming into this season.
Yeah, I definitely had Ohio State in my playoff. I did not have Michigan or Harbaugh doing what they've done this season. I've been telling Harbaugh to get out now for the past few years. And I feel like he doesn't even want to be there. He's just been doing it because he feels like he has to.
It's like an obligation for him.
Exactly. And I think I think he's leaving. I think he's going to go to Chicago, to the Bears. I think he did what he had to do, which was beat Ohio State and get into a playoff. So, his tenure wasn't a complete failure. But as the college football game is just completely changing with the NIL and transfer portal, I think Harbaugh's getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. He's not going to be there much longer.
No, he's not. So speaking of our past predictions or preseason predictions, we talked about Heisman winners. I believe you had Matt Corral as your Heisman winner.
I actually had JT Daniels, but
okay, and that's who I had too. Yeah, I had JT as well, and we've yet to really see JT this year. How many has he taken active snaps?
He started 3-4 games, I believe, and then he got hit with another injury. And ever since then, he's been injured.
I mean, it's sad because the dude's filled with talent, and I think he could do okay in the next level. I don't know if he'd be a franchise QB, but he has the arm talent to do it. So seeing a guy like that persistently battling injuries kind of sucks. So since JT has gone through the woes, Stetson Bennett has once again stepped up to the plate. And I think that's where we'll start. In the SEC championship game, Stetson struggled mightily as I kind of expected that. My key going into the game for Alabama to beat Georgia was to make Stetson throw the ball, kind of keep him in the pocket, of course, apply pressure, but don't give him many outlets to scramble around. Make him beat you with his arm. And Alabama did a really good job doing that. They also took advantage of his height, which was something that I mentioned. And one of our pods were like off air or something is that if our defensive linemen can just throw their hands up and keep them rattled and not being able to, shoot it over them, we'd have a lot of success. But enough of me talking. I want to hear your breakdown of Stetson's performance in the SEC championship game and what does he have to do differently, or what does the offensive coordinator, the schemes have to do differently in order to beat Alabama in the second go around.
Yeah, so Stetson surprisingly actually threw for like a career number of yards in the SEC championship, which I guess when you're playing from behind and you have to throw it
kind of have no choice.
Second half, well, yeah, which he threw for 340, I believe. Only 2 touchdowns, maybe 1 touchdown, I can't remember. But he also had the 2 picks, which were game changers. One of which was a pick 6.
Yeah,
and I still don't know. I still don't know what to think of this dude, honestly. Like, the guy I work with, he's a big Stetson hater. And I was trying to give Stetson the benefit of the doubt all season. And then the SEC championship came around. I'm like, okay, get this clown off of the field. But watching the way he played against Michigan, watching them play against Michigan, the offense was a totally different offense than what we've seen all season. At least I have. But the key for Stetson is you have to move that pocket. He's a pocket QB when he has the time, or he has the ability to drop back his full 7 yards.
I think the best definition of him would be an improviser, not a pocket passer, not a scrambler, not a field general. He's an improviser.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. I don't even know if you can call him that, really. He makes plays with his feet.
He makes good plays. He's a good athlete. He's a good athlete, and he makes some really good throws too at times that impress you. But you got to see it consistently.
Yeah, but I think another issue that Stetson dealt with against Alabama is the whole season up until the SEC championship, Georgia had only given up 3 sacks all season, and then the offensive line just completely shit the bed and gave up 3 sacks in the SEC championship. So that was a big factor too, which once you put pressure on Stetson and take away his receivers, you're not going to win that way if you're Georgia.
Yeah. So speaking of receivers, though, go ahead and inform me who are we going to see different in that receiving core that we didn't see in the SEC championship game?
George Pickens will definitely be a bigger factor. I think he only had 1 catch in the SEC.
He wasn't 100% though, correct? And that was his first game back.
Yeah, no, well, it was his second game back.
Oh, okay.
I think it was his second game back because he came in for 1 play before against Tech.
Okay.
So, do you hear that?
No, I don't. Do you?
Okay, I got a video somewhere playing in the background. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I don't hear anything.
Okay. I'll keep it rolling then. But yeah, so we're going to have Pickens back 100% healthy. Hopefully, Kyrus Jackson is 100% healthy. I mean, he's just been kind of returning punts all season. Hasn't really made many plays.
Where's Burton been at?
Burton's been quiet this year. He did have a big play against Michigan. He stepped up in that game, but he's been quiet. We've been hitting McConkey and Bowers.
Yeah.
2 old white boys on the outside.
Yeah, Brock Bowers coming in, and he was the number 1 tight end in the nation, correct?
He was.
Yeah. So I remember when he picked Georgia, that was a huge sign for you guys. He's impressed. I mean, he's impressed me a lot. He's definitely going to move on to the next level and be very successful on Sundays. And so I expect him to be a key piece there. I just want to ask, because I don't watch a lot of Georgia football. Darnell Washington, is that the correct name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Why don't y'all use that guy more? Because that dude's a freaking mountain, man. I feel like you can move him around and utilize him in different ways.
I have no answer for that at all. The only time I've seen him used, sometimes we'll hit him with a little stream straight down the numbers. And the other 97% of the time, he's out there blocking. So I don't know exactly what. I don't know. Maybe it's Stetson's too short. He's not legally allowed to throw to someone who's 7 foot tall. There's too much of a difference in height. So they tell him, hey, you can't do that. I don't know what it is, but something's got to give because you cannot guard 7 foot. A linebacker cannot guard 7 foot. So I don't know what we're doing not passing to him almost every play.
Yeah, if I'm Kirby Smart, I'm sticking Washington out there kind of on the interior, put Brock on the other side of him on the outside. And I'm using him as a chip and stick guy, chip one of the pass rushers and just put him out in the sticks. And then if Stetson doesn't have anything, he can just throw it up to that big 7-footer that's right there.
Exactly.
I don't think you're going to have much problems. Yeah.
No, they do have they do a thing where they have a 3 tight end set. They do a tight trips tight end receiving core, I guess. And Darnell and Brock are out there. Yeah. And I forget who else is out there, but they generally run like a little trio combo. with those three. Like one hits sticks, one hits fade, and one hits a slant, which 9 times out of 10 they're throwing it to Bowers. But that is an interesting thing to watch out for.
Yeah. So what do you think? Just give me like your one main key for the Georgia offense. What do they need to do to beat Alabama's defense? What would you do if you're Kirby Smart, or who's y'all's OC? What's his name?
Todd Monken.
Oh, y'all still got Monken. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you be telling Monken right now? If you got one phone call and you could just tell him one thing, what would you tell him to do?
If I had to tell him one thing, I'd tell him, like, obviously you have to establish the run, but you gotta establish the play action too. Like you can't sit back and shotgun and expect to throw it 40 times and have Stetson Bennett win you the game with a shoulder. So you need to establish the run, but don't run it. Don't come out and run it for 2 drives in a row and wind up punting it. Like, don't run it 3 or 4 plays in a row. Like, hit them with a first down slant, pick you up 3 or 4. Run the ball up the middle twice, then it's 3rd down 2, 3rd down and 3, and then decide what you're going to do from there. Don't be so predictable.
Can I give a prediction of what I think how y'all are going to run y'all's offense?
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be very, very similar. If I'm Kirby, if I'm Monken, I'm running the same scheme as I ran against Alabama when I had Jake Fromm in the previous national championship game, the last time we faced each other. It was come out and shotgun and just kill you with slants because, I mean, the slant is just such a hard route to defend in itself anyways. In Alabama, we struggle. I mean, traditionally, we have struggled in man-on-man coverage in our secondary. We're a lot better in the zone. So if you can just exploit some of those matchups, especially with those bigger receivers y'all have, and we're a little hurt in the secondary, we're going to be missing a few guys, whether it's due to a targeting penalty or injury. So that's how I would attack y'all. I mean, that's how I would be if I were y'all attacking Alabama. Can you sustain slants for a full 4 quarters? No, but that should be able to open up your running game, your play action, and definitely your deep game too.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So kind of talking about, well, I guess we should transition from Georgia's offense. And how about, let me say this. What do you think about, do you think JT should have been played in that SEC championship game?
I mean, I get it from Kirby's, like, from his side of things. Like, what message does it send to not only, like, an individual, Stetson, but the whole team? Like, okay, you've done all this work. Like, you've had an incredible season for us, and then we're just going to pull you because we think someone's better. Like, I understand that. But
you think Nick Saban did that when he pulled out Jalen Hurts, his 2-year starter, all rookie QB? Did he care?
No, but that's the difference.
The national championship game.
That's the difference there, though. And I don't know if, like, you can never get a straight answer who's injured on the Georgia sideline from any of the Georgia coaching staff.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like that everywhere else in the nation, but Georgia is one of the hardest schools to understand why someone isn't playing when they're not injured.
Well, that is directly a page out of Nick Saban's playbook, his grand scheme playbook. Up until, like, I would say the dichotomy started changing when Kirby left. And I'm not saying Kirby's responsible for it. I think Nick just himself, along with maybe Dr. Matt Rhea coming in and Jeff Allen, maybe they pushed him to be more transparent. But Alabama was the same exact thing. Trying to get an injury report out of them was trying to get codes from the Soviet Union or something. It was ridiculous. And so we would never know either. We would just know, hey, somebody's out. We wouldn't know if they're hurt, if it was discipline, how long they would be out. So, yeah, I think he's just taking a page out of Nick Saban's book, but I don't even see Nick do that anymore. He's been more transparent in the past few years of, their players being hurt. But yeah. So I totally understand your frustration with that.
But at the same time, Kirby's loyalty is what I think has cost us a few games. Like, possibly a few natties. I don't know.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean, a lot of people still question, the decision to stick with Jake Fromm and letting Justin Fields walk. I mean, a bunch of different stuff like that.
yeah, I understand that one a lot better than I understand the Stutz and JT Daniels stuff. Because I mean,
Yeah,
Fromm literally did just lead you to a natty. He almost won you a natty minus a second overtime. So I mean, I understand that one. The kid already had taken you there, so you might as well ride with him. And he was
yeah.
a good
And,
quarterback. Like,
well, I think so too. You may actually. So I thought Kirby was actually. I thought he was insane for not throwing JT out there. At least in the last few possessions. Just at least, I don't know, give him a different look and maybe see what he could work with. Going on into the playoffs. But reflecting on it, I think Kirby made the right decision, and I think he's still making the right decision keeping Stetson in there, and that's because of Stetson's feet. I mean, JT, he can't. I mean, you don't want him to scramble really because he's so injury prone and he's had a lot of lower body extremity injuries. So I think Stetson probably does give you the better chance because Alabama's going to be bringing pressure. And I don't think JT's really going to be able to evade the pressure and be effective.
yeah, that's the only downfall for. I mean, I think JT would make a great, like, great QB who's throwing the ball 60 times a game, not having to run. Like if he was somewhere at like Houston and didn't have to run, they just had a complete spread, like
air raid
type offense. Yeah, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
But you can't really do that when you're playing in the SEC against defensive linemen who are just as fast as most quarterbacks.
Yeah, so let's transition from our preseason Heisman winner to our actual Heisman winner. That is my man, Bryce Young. I did not see him winning the Heisman this year. I did say, throughout the year, I've had some worries with Bryce because he has some of the same problems as we've had in the past, hanging on to the ball way too long. It gets frustrating, like that Auburn game. You sat there and just watched Bryce be patient and patient and patient, and the guy was just drowning out there. But you wouldn't have even known he was drowning because he wasn't flailing, he wasn't screaming for help. He was just quietly sinking and waiting for the right time to burst. And he waited till the last second, but we did it. So what frustrates me with him is like he will not make the wrong decision, as in he's not going to turn the ball over. So he will gladly take 3 sacks in a row before throwing up a jump ball. But that's just my frustrations with Bryce. Overall, to me, he's been perfect throughout the season. Of course, he's made some mistakes, but he's not playing like a freshman. He's playing like a 4-year senior out there. What are your takeaways from watching Bryce?
Yeah, he's definitely playing way above his level right now. And I'm not saying he's not talented enough to play the way he's playing, but the calmness and the tranquility that he brings to the QB position for Alabama is just unbelievable. Like I've sat there multiple times and watched him. I'm like, okay, he's about to get sacked, and his head has been downfield for 8 seconds, and sure enough, he makes a pass. He may not even be looking at him. He may be looking over here on the right side of the field, and he's got a streaker on the backside, and he's still going to hit him every time just because he's calm, he's collected, he's patient, he's willing to wait that extra half a second just to see what happens. I think honestly he deserved it. I mean, there are a few other candidates I thought were they could have won it, but I think he was the most outstanding offensive player this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you hit all the right adjectives. The only one you left out was he's kind of a genius. Pre-snap reads, he's great at it. Or he's just above like where he should be. He's advanced AP classes for Bryce Young. You speaking of the Heisman, I think the second most deserving, or the actual most deserving of it, is Will Anderson. And I think that was more displayed after the Heisman was given out, or in that SEC championship game. People had Jordan Davis above him. People had Aiden Hutchinson above him, which are both great players and are going to be game changers. They're going to be playmakers in the next level. But I mean, those are the two guys right there, I think, that beat y'all the first time. And I think because we have them, we'll be able to beat y'all a second time just by Bryce and Will alone.
Speaking of Will, I had no clue that he's from my hometown. I didn't know he was from Stockbridge, Henry County.
I
He went to
believe he's
Dutchtown
from
High School.
Okay, well, all this everything says Hampton, which I guess is the same.
It's 5 minutes, like here or there. Dutchtown's kind of in the middle of Stockbridge and Hampton.
Oh, okay. So but you know the whole backstory of how he grew up a Georgia fan.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to UGA, and what happened? UGA didn't come knocking until his senior year, and he said, "Forget y'all. Alabama's been recruiting me, since my freshman year. Y'all are too late." Well,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel? I gotta ask, like, how does that make you feel, man? Because like, if I were a Georgia fan, I would be killing myself. Or, I mean, just thinking of you let Derrick Henry slip, you let Devontae Smith slip, you let Will Anderson Jr. slip. Like, what does that do to you?
Like, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where like, oh damn, like we could have had them, like just a little more effort. But at the same time, like the majority of those positions we've had like skill players there that were almost just as good, if not as good.
Yeah.
Like linebacker, I've never been upset that we've missed a linebacker like N'Kobe Dean this season. Nolan Smith, the number one player in his class. He might have been number one defensive player. And then you go back to like Jarvis Jones, like people like that. I'm not really worried about the linebacker position. Now, receiver position, yeah, Georgia's never really had receivers. I mean, we had Muhammad Massaquoi, we've had AJ Green, we have George Pickens if he's able to stick around and be smart and be healthy. But I mean, we recruit well enough now that it tit for tat. Like it doesn't bother me all that much. Some people it might, but for me, I'm just that one player is not going to make the entire difference. Maybe some of them will, but that one player for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you're talking about 2-3 deserving Heisman winners right there. You let slip. I mean, Derrick Henry is, bro, he is going to change your team. Like, Will Anderson's going to change your team. Devontae Smith's going to change your team. Like, I think Devontae Smith is the sole reason why we won the national championship last year, because he bailed out, which Mac Jones played really good. I'm a big Mac Jones fan, but there were so many times we got bailed out by Devontae Smith. Just his route running when the play breaks down is incredible, and his hands were incredible. So like, you knew if a play broke down, F it, throw it to Devontae, he's going to catch it. But we'll move off that though. What do you think? I want to know, like, has your opinion of this Georgia team changed, without in the past 2-3 games?
Yeah. So like at the end of the regular season, I was at the point in my Georgia fandom where I was like, I don't even have to say anything. Like, this is it. Like,
Yeah,
this, I'm confident. Like, don't even need to say nothing. Don't even need to talk junk. We got this. And then sitting in the stadium watching the SEC championship, I'm kind of back on my like, man, Georgia is on its bullshit again. Like, Georgia's never gonna win it. Georgia's never gonna do it. Like, if we can't do it this year, we'll never be able to do it. So I was down on the team. And then I watched the Michigan game, and that was a totally different team than I've seen all season. Like, even when they're undefeated, I hadn't seen them play this good. So now I feel good about what's going on, I guess, over there in Athens, like what the team took to heart after that big loss.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I mean, every interview I see with all the players, like N'Kobe Dean or Stetson, it's like, we really took that one to heart, and the team has changed. And I believe it after watching that game. So I'm back on my, like, okay, guys, we got this.
All right. Well, I want to know, like, take me through your experience at the SEC championship game in Atlanta. I just want to know, I'm sure you sat in the Georgia section. So what was some of the opinions or fiery takes from some of your fellow brethren out there?
So we kind of sat like in the corner. So it was maybe 4 or 5 sections away from the Alabama like split. But we started out with the tailgate, and we were out there catching nice buzz on. And excited because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna carry this buzz into the stadium, get some beer. Well, they don't sell beer at the SEC championship.
Really?
I know Mercedes-Benz sells beer, but the SEC still, it's school by school if they're gonna allow alcohol. Like Tennessee sells alcohol, Georgia sells alcohol, but it's only to the donors. So
and I know Bama
school by
doesn't.
school. Yeah. So I'm sure that was a big factor. So I'm starting to lose my buzz as soon as I hit the seat. But we go up 10-0, and there's this Georgia fan or Alabama fan sitting in front of me. I'm like giving everyone around me high fives, and I tap on his shoulder and try to like genuinely give him a high five, and he just turns around and flicks me off. Well, about as the game continues, I'm starting to lose like my wind. Like I'm sobering up. I'm almost getting dehydrated at this point. Things aren't looking good on the field. I think it was the beginning of the third quarter when they hit that big slant for the touchdown to Jameson.
Yep.
So at that point, like there was no wind in our sails. Like I was just sitting there like, man, screw all this. Like I'm glad I didn't pay for tickets because I'd be twice as angry if I did. That dude, after that touchdown, that dude turned around, tapped my knee, and tried to give me a high five. And at that point, I was ready to swing on some Alabama fans.
I'm surprised you walked out of there without throwing one swing.
Yeah, I was like upset.
It's probably a good thing you got
depressed.
cut off by Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah. That's the main thing. Like honestly, I got to that point in my buzz where it was like kind of like hard to pay attention because like I needed something to keep fueling myself, but I couldn't like. I don't know. It's coming down off a high. Like you're just kind of like, oh, groggy, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I do want to give y'all a shout out, and I'm going to give y'all a little round of applause here. I told this to Titus the last time we recorded. I believe that episode never got released because I'm just lazy. But I gave a congratulations at the beginning of the pod to Georgia fans and to Auburn fans.
You released this. You said they switched positions on.
Yeah. So I want to thank y'all. Y'all are no longer the most insufferable fans, in my opinion, out of all of college football. Auburn has taken the cake on that. And I asked Titus, will you just close your eyes and imagine Auburn had Stetson Bennett and they were going on the run that Georgia was currently going on with that defense and everything. Good God, man. Like we would never hear the end of it. And as Georgia fans, we're very excited for this year, as they were deservedly so. Y'all were also optimistically cautious. Y'all have learned throughout these past few years or decades, really. And y'all are like traditionally, every year is y'all's year. And y'all usually get way too overhyped and just let yourselves, crumble. But y'all done a very good job this year of, keeping your expectations at bay. So shout out.
It's been hard. I'll tell you that much. But I think there's a collective like understanding that this season has a potential to be special for us Georgia fans. And I think it's just let it be. Like, don't do anything. Like right now, I'm currently pissed off at old Chuck, because I don't know if you watched him on NBA the other day.
No, I didn't.
But they were doing their prediction, and he guaranteed, he used the G word, that Georgia would win the national championship.
Ooh.
Even Maria Taylor was like, please don't pick, like, she's a UGA grad. She's like, please don't pick, like, I don't want you to pick Georgia, like, pick Alabama, please. And he came out there and hit him with a guarantee. So I don't think there has been much guaranteeing on the Georgia side of things this year.
No, there has.
It's just been an understanding. Like,
yes. And I mean, it's just like I'm with y'all, like the Braves this year. Were any of us like, oh yes, we're gonna win the World Series? No.
Absolutely
it
not.
was until that final out. We all finally like let ourselves breathe, because we just know, like, with Georgia sports, anything can happen. Speaking of predictions, I want to talk about Lee Corso, and we're not going to give our predictions yet, but one thing that would make me choose Georgia in this to win it is because our boy Lee Corso, our very close personal best friend, who we've slightly met one time, didn't meet him, but heard him talk before he completely lost his mind. This may be his last year on College Game Day, and it's sad. It's a sad reality. He kind of needs to go, but we all love Lee Corso. College Game Day, the whole crew has done a great job supporting him and letting him ride
Kirk
this
especially.
out. Yeah, exactly. And I think
he pretty much babysits him up there on, which that sounds terrible, but like
no, he does. He does.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get distracted watching Kirk when Lee Corso is talking, especially when Lee is having his bad days, because, some weekends, like, he's just not there. But some Saturdays he is there. And it gets distracting, though, watching Kirk on Lee's bad days, because Kirk knows Lee is having a bad day. And it's kind of like just, a son watching his elderly father slip into another dimension. But Corso at the beginning of the year predicted this. He predicted it would be Alabama, Georgia. They would see each other in the SEC. Alabama would win the SEC, and Georgia would come back and beat them in the Natty. So this could be Lee Corso's ultimate farewell. It may be written in the stars that he perfectly predicted this. Does that give you any added hope?
It does. Like, I remember him saying all that, and I was just like, okay, as the season went along, I was like, there's no way we're going to lose to Alabama in the championship.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, we did. I was just like, this old man might be onto something. Like, he might be like leaving this world mentally, but gaining like an all new time high of like college, like football cognizant. And like, he's speaking with the gods right now. Like, they are speaking through him. Everyone thinks he's going crazy, but he's truly a prophet of the CFP.
So did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
I did.
Yeah. So who is it? The Raven? What's that guy who Bran turns into?
The third eye Raven or something.
Yeah. So that's what Corso. Yeah, they're just gonna have
his body begins to fail him.
Exactly. They're just gonna stick him in a tree and wheel that tree out every fall, every Saturday for Lee Corso to speak from the third eye. Before we get into our predictions and wrap this thing up, are there any other like topics or things? I mean, we mainly talked about each other's offense. Do you have anything on Georgia's defense they should do, or I don't know, any takes you want to give?
No, Georgia has to get after them this go around. They didn't have any sacks, hardly any pressures at the first matchup. So, which to Alabama's credit, their offensive line played. I didn't think they could play that good.
Yeah.
And they played like out of their socks that game.
Yeah.
But we have to get pressure, and I think it's going to be Dan Lanning. This is going to be his last game on the Georgia sideline. Before he leaves for Oregon. And I think he's just going to – I hope he's not distracted, and I truly believe he's just going to, like, throw the whole playbook at him. Like, I think it's going to be nonstop blitzing, like, all different angles, different zone blitz, all sorts of – like, the pressure is going to be on, and that's what needs to happen.
I agree with you, and I think y'all are going to be a lot more successful at that pressure, and that's mainly due to the mental edge or the mental battle, because I think the reason why, like you said, Alabama – that offensive line completely shocked me. And that's because just a week before that, we looked like total dog doo-doo out there against Auburn, except for in the second half when we made personnel changes. We did a lot better job protecting, but all that week leading up to it was, Alabama's going to get destroyed by this Georgia front. We just watched them get killed by this mediocre Auburn team. What do you think the best defensive front in the country is going to do? And so Alabama came out, they played great. Our protection was decent against Cincinnati. We struggled, but I have my whole theory about us. We just throw half the playbook at whoever our semifinal opponent is, because I feel like we don't want to, give whoever we're going to play in the Natty even more film. And I think we kind of just do the bare minimum of what we got to do to beat that team, and just try not to get too cute with stuff. But yeah, I think y'all would be very successful in that. So I think it's going to be another Bryce game. Like, Bryce is going to have to beat y'all, and we're going to be without John Mechie, which he's our sure-handed guy. Like, Jameson Williams is our huge playmaker. he'll beat you deep, or he'll turn a short route into a long gain, but he's not as sure-handed as John Mechie is. So we're gonna have to see other guys step up in that position as well. So Caesars has Georgia as a 2.5-point favorite. I think some sports books have them at a 3.5-point favorite. Are you going to be betting on this game?
No, I do better when I don't bet. I might have a side bet with like someone like me, and you could perhaps come up with one.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. We'll finish the pod with that. I wanted to ask you about a friendly wager.
Yeah. I'm always down with a friendly wager.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting. I don't know if you saw that stat. It's like there has been 5 times that top 5 teams have had a rematch during the season. And like every time, the 5 times that has happened, like one time it's Florida State and Florida, something like that. But anyway, every time it's happened, say Team A lost the first go around.
Yeah.
Team A wind up winning by 21 points or more the second go around. So it's 5 for 5.
Oh, really?
Yes. I saw that the other day, and I thought that was super interesting. I don't know. I don't think that will be – possibly it could be. Yeah. I don't think that's really what's going to happen here. But that's always like one of those things like, it could happen.
That's interesting because I have another 5-game stat for you. From this season alone, regular season opponents facing each other again in the conference championship. I think it was conference championship because that's pretty much how you have to do it in the NCAA. But that's happened 5 times so far this year, where the same teams have played each other. And Team A, the winner, the first go around, they're 3 out of 5 this year. They're not a perfect 5 out of 5, but which is weird to me because, in my opinion, and you always hear in sports, it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. Yeah. So I feel like Georgia has the mental edge on that. But I think mentally, Alabama has a little bit of the edge because they are coming in underdogs once again. And Alabama is really good at making themselves feel disrespected, even though nobody disrespects them. And I think if it's a close game, we have the mental edge on y'all. I don't know why or how, because, I mean, both teams are old and young. There's a good mix in there. Alabama might be a slightly younger team than y'all. But I don't know. It just feels like and y'all haven't been down really this year. So it kind of felt like when y'all went down against us and lost that 10-point lead, y'all kind of just like lost y'all's, mental too. Yeah.
I was going to say something. I can't remember. The rat poison. You were talking about like everyone talking.
Yeah.
Saban was talking all that rat poison at the SEC championship or before the whole week leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia's going to have a positive effect of the rat poison this year because Georgia right now is a favorite, but I've heard more people like picking Alabama. Like,
yeah,
everyone's like, okay, Alabama's just going to win it again this season. Like, they're going to win it back to back again. But I don't think Georgia's buying into that. And I think that's what the mental toughness or the mental side of things, that's going to be on Georgia's favor this year.
Do you know what the line is for the over-under? I never looked that up.
I bet it's like it's probably like 53.5.
What are you taking over or under? Would you take over or under?
I'd take the over.
Over?
Because I think the winning team's gonna have, say the over-under is like 58. I think the winning team's gonna have 40.
Okay.
So that's only leaving like 3 more scores that need to be there.
Yeah. I'm definitely not betting this. And because if I was betting this, I would be betting the over because I do not bet unders really. But I'm taking the under because I think it's actually going to be more of a low scoring game. I think both teams are going to be very successful of just giving like each other's offenses hell. I think it's going to be constant pressure. So I think it's going to be more difficult for both teams to move the ball.
Yeah, Georgia's defense is definitely going to show up better to play. It's just going to matter. Be it like, is Alabama's offense going to be as hot as they were in the SEC championship, and is Georgia's offense even going to show up?
Mm-hmm. It may be one of those things that's going to come down to turnovers and special teams.
Yeah, that is true. The over-under is 51.5.
Ooh, 51.5.
I'm taking the over on that.
I'm still taking the under because I'm thinking like a 20-13 game, like something like that. I don't know.
I was thinking like a 41, like almost the same score we just had,
Yeah.
except reversed. I'm seeing like a 41 to like 20, 17.
In Georgia's favor.
I think so.
So I think that's what I'm in agreement with you that if Georgia wins, it's going to be a blowout. Because I think if it comes down to a close game, Alabama's going to have the edge.
Yeah.
But so go ahead, Chris. Give your final prediction. What's going down Monday night?
Georgia's going to come out of the gate and completely shut down Alabama's offense for the second and third quarter for sure. They might score a touchdown in the first. That's fine. Bend don't break. Game's not over yet. And then they might have a late score to try to bring it back into range. So, but I think they're going to have 2 quarters of scoreless defense out there, or offense, I guess you should say. But I think Georgia's going to come out the gate like they're going to put everything behind them. This is the last game. Like this is the game. It's a 1-game season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to focus on everything in front of them. I think Todd Monken's going to come out with a playbook similar to Michigan, like run the ball, short, quick passes, and then hit them with the deep ball here and there. And I just think Georgia's defense is honestly going to break some necks this go around. Like Jordan Davis is upset after his performance. He's going to get in there. I believe I would put money on this. I don't know what like the sacks are, a sideline or like a side bet is, but I'd say Georgia probably has 5 or 6 sacks.
Bet. All right. Well, I'm going to say Alabama. I'm going to take them. Even though I'm not totally confident in it, I think Bill O'Brien is going to come out and he's going to attack y'all's edges. Like first off, like I would not be surprised if we come out first drive, empty backfield, shotgun, and we're just throwing wide receiver screens and dinks and dunks, and then we're lining up in a single back, tight formation, and then just like running it up. I think Bill O'Brien's going to keep y'all on y'all's toes to where y'all aren't going to be able to bring the pressure like y'all want to. But I mean, we're typically pretty good on, first, second, third drives of a game when they're scripted. So I think that second, third quarter is going to be key. I just give Alabama the edge in the offense. I mean, I just think Alabama's offense is better than y'all's. And I did not mention this, but even though Georgia statistically has like overall the number 1 ranked defense in the nation, Alabama has the number 2 rushing defense in the nation this year. We shut down y'all's run game the first go around. You mentioned earlier how establishing the run game, and not only that, the play action game is going to be really important. I think y'all are still just going to struggle with that, and it's not going to give y'all enough firepower, breathing room, or Stetson enough comfort out there. And I think he's going to have to do it all on his own. And I just don't think Stetson can do it on his own.
Dude's still got a flip phone, so I believe in him.
True.
I believe in that. There is power behind a flip phone.
All right. Well, how do you want to wager this? Are you thinking money or
I'm thinking like just a little straight public? Up. Oh yeah, like I don't like betting money between friends.
Yeah.
Because then one of us, not me obviously, but one of us will be upset.
I have a proposition.
Let's do it.
I don't think you're going to be down for it. I'm down for it, but what if loser, say if Georgia wins, I will get a tiny tattoo on my butt that says Kirby's.
Dude, I'll do it.
So you'll get a tattoo on your butt that says Saban's.
Yeah, my wife doesn't listen to the show, so.
Bet. But
the lights are always off, so.
Bet. And so when we do it, though, we got to do it together, as in we'll go with each other to the parlor or whatever, and we'll film it and make content out of it.
I got you.
Heck yeah, bro. Let's go. And then maybe, I don't know, we can add to it, get a custom t-shirt. And then it says, ask me who owns my butt, or something like that. And then you got to walk around for a day with it. And every time somebody asks you like, oh, who owns your butt? you got to flash the little Saban does, or
Let's do
Kirby
it.
does.
I'm all about
Yeah.
that.
Let's go then. I'm excited for it.
Me too. I hope Georgia actually pulls it off this year.
Yeah, and hey man, like I think it's more beautiful for you too, because unlike you, like I don't have any tattoos, so that will be my first and only tattoo is having Kirby's written on my butt.
Hell yeah!
Shoot, I mean, do you want to make it I don't know, it'd be a way more expensive tattoo, and I don't know if I want to go through the coloring and all that, but if you wanted to put like the Pokemon Kirby on my butt, I'm okay with that too.
The Pokemon Kirby.
Yeah, do you know what that Pokemon looks like?
All
right, I'll show you.
I've not seen that.
I feel like you do, because of Super Smash Bros. Wasn't he on Super Smash Bros?
Oh, Kirby, the actual Pokemon. Oh, I thought you meant like someone had come up with like a Kirby, like Kirby Smart Pokemon.
Oh no. Maybe like do Kirby and put like a Georgia G on him or something like that.
You could. I'm not opposed to that either. I'll do the little elephant head.
Bet. Or I really want Nick Saban's face on you.
I'd make ESPN in a heartbeat with that.
Oh yeah. With that, what's that? I got it on my phone. We would have to get a really good tattoo artist to do it. Where's that picture at? Oh yeah. This iconic photo.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just like, it's hard to see. Yeah, that's what I would want on your butt.
Okay. All right. We'll have to track down some tattoo artists. Maybe they'll do it for free.
Maybe
we reach out and be like, "Hey, we'll do a
we can hit
promotional
up
thing."
Colton.
I was literally thinking that.
Yeah, maybe he'll F with us and throw in a discount or something, and we'll give him some free exposure. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll even get his logo tattooed on my other cheek.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he'll do it for free if we just tell him to throw in his logo with it too. All right. Well, Monday night. What time's the game start? 8:30.
Probably 8:30.
And it's usually like 9:00. It seems like before they really kick it off.
Yeah, dude. Tickets are cheap this year too. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't even looked.
I've been seeing tickets for like $400 or $500 on like Facebook pages.
Really?
Because apparently like all the hotels are booked out. The weather's supposed to be terrible. All the flights already booked. So right now, if you want to go to the game, now would be the time to go to the game.
Bro, just make a little road trip up to Indianapolis.
Let's do it.
Bro, I would do that as like a day trip, bro. Like
I would
drive up there and then just drive back.
Yeah, I'd make work Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I'll be down with that. How far is the drive to Indianapolis?
It's straight up 75.
It's like what, 8 hours?
I'd probably say like 7 hours.
See, Louisville was an 8-hour drive for us, though, wasn't it?
That was a lot of changing, though, I thought.
And we were going through ice once we hit Tennessee.
Yeah. It might be like 8-9 hours.
Yeah,
it's almost 9 hours.
9 hours.
Yeah. You can make that in 8.
Oh yeah. Except for there will be snow though, so probably not.
All right, we'll put some chains on them bad boys.
Bet. Well, Monday night, man, our butts are on the line. UGA versus Alabama. I'm looking forward to it, and now I'm a lot more excited for this game now that our butts are on the line.
Same here.
Yeah.
Might wind up regretting this.
And yeah, we'll probably try to do I don't know. We'll see how we're in the mood for it, but maybe we'll do a follow-up pod next week to talk about the game if you're down for it. But
oh yeah,
well,
of course.
That'll definitely be a wait to see. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go, but thank you to everyone for listening. You can send in tattoo ideas to us. Hit us up on NTE Podcast on any of the socials. And if you have a tattoo idea, we'll take some.
Be glad to consider them.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you as always, bro.
Same here. As always, go Dogs.
Yeah. Roll Tide.